Hello guys. So in the one of the sessions we have seen how to select and deselect couple of instances, vias, metal strips, pins and labels and all of that. Okay. When you've got multiple instances or be it hierarchy and all of that, then we've also seen how to create a tree. I mean, not create, I mean, how to look for the referencing by using the tree command. And now there could be some scenarios wherein you may have to search for a particular metal, search for a particular via, or search for a particular pin. Okay, in here, this design is small, that's okay. But then, if at all you want to select a particular thing, particular geometry, or a particular module instance in your whole large layout, how do you do that? Okay, that's what we are going to learn in today's session. So if you see here, we know that it has got 12 transistors and all. Now I'll press Control F. You see here, all of these are MP. That's your PMOS, and there's three NMOSs at the top and three NMOSs at the bottom. Now I'll just turn on the search option over here in the layout window and just try to show you some different options on how to search a particular thing. So let me press Shift S. So when I press Shift S, this find and replace form opens up. Okay. So let's take one by one over here. If you see the drop down, there are so many options. Okay. You can look for any section, any shape. Any shape refers to geometry or array or any specific blockage layer or any group you want to search or any specific instance you want to search, or say any specific label you want to search or a specific path with a particular connectivity or a net name you want to search or maybe a specific pin you are looking for. And if you're not able to find it in a large design, you can use this search option and also specific type of vias. Okay. There's so many options, text, snap boundaries. There are so many options which you can search using this find and replace form. So let's take simple examples over here. Say I'll click on any shape. Okay. So now I'll click on any shape over here and say add a criteria here. Okay. What criteria do I need to look for? Okay. So I'll just select the layer here. I'll say net name. Okay. Now I want to select a particular layer. Shape refers to any geometry you draw. It could be VSS, VDD, any net name, any geometry which you draw can be termed as a shape. So what I did, I just selected any shape, added a criteria, and here I selected these options. There are so many options which you can use. But since I'm selecting a geometry here, and obviously I will need a name to that particular net, I'll say net name. Now here I will give the term as VSS. Okay. So I'll be searching for VSS net. I know here that there is a VSS net here, but just for the sake of understanding, assuming that this is a very, very large design, let me go by that. So I'll say match the whole cases, make it case sensitive, search it in the current cell view. You can do search options from a current cell view from top to bottom, multiple options over here. You can play around with it. And then over here, I will select on this option, zoom to the selected figure. So whenever it finds any shape or any geometry with the name VSS, it will select it and it will give me the count in the current figure, and when you're snapping, when you're moving to another one, it will show you. So I'll just right now I'll just select this option and I'll say find. So when I say find, it says, you see here it is highlighting here everything, every net which has got the connectivity by name VSS is selected. So totally it says it has got 9 over here, including the pin here. Okay, you could have pins and labels both, because here we have not given any specification that it has to be a pin or a label. We are just saying any shape. That's the reason even pins and labels are selected. Okay, so you see here current figure, there are figure count is 9. Okay, so if you see here, there is one big VSS over here, then 3 VSS, that's 4, 5, 6, 7, and there is 8 here and 9 here. So when I say next, it will keep snapping one by one to each of its selection. 1, 2, you see here, it's changing here. Okay, 3, 4, 5, that's a white one, the 6 one, 7 one, 8, this one, and the large one in the end. Okay, this is how you select a particular shape. Okay. And if at all you want to delete anything specific, you just say select all. Assuming that I want to select all the nets with the name VSS, I just say select all, click somewhere here, and I move this guy here. You see this? I am able to select all the nets with the name VSS and move them out to separate them out. See, sometimes it will so happen that you will have some net names overlapping when you're doing porting projects or when you're overlapping a design. You could come across n number of scenarios. If you want to select a particular net, move it or delete it or stretch it, do whatever you want with that geometry, you can easily select a geometry this way. Okay, I'll press undo here so that we get back the same layout. Now, again, what I'll do is I'll just delete the criteria here. Now I will try to look for the instances here. We saw the shape now. I'll say let me look for instance. Okay. I'll add a criteria. Now the cell name instance obviously will have a particular cell name. So are you looking out for something within the library, or are you looking for a specific instance name or a view name or what? We don't know. Okay. So we'll just write it as an instance name. Okay. So let's see how it works. Okay. I'll put M, P and star because I know there are 6 of these. Okay. When I say star, it will select all the instances which are starting with MP and the suffix numbering over here. Okay, so I can write MN if I want to select MN. If you see here, instance naming has got MP and MN over here. Okay, now right now I'm selecting only MP, and when I press star, it indicates that it has to select all the instances which are starting with MP. I leave all the other default criteria as is, and I'll say find. Okay, here you see this, it is figured out that there are 6 instances 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, select all. I'll click here, fit screen. I'll move these 6 PMOSs separately. Okay, so right now, without doing anything, without having to manually select each and every instance, check and everything, this becomes very, very easy for you to select a particular instance type. Find that in this whole big layout, select it and move it aside. So likewise, if at all I want to look for MN, okay, I'll just go and change this here, MN. I'll say find again. Again, it will give me 6 instances, but this time I'm searching for NMOS instances. Okay, so that's where we take advantage of this. Okay, so now I'll delete this criteria here. Now let me look at some other option here. Okay, say if I want to look for label, out label. Okay, I'll just add the criteria based on what I have to write. So here it is telling me text. Okay, there are different options, but I'll just say text. So let me click on out. Let me see if at all there is out option here. I know that there is out, but how to select it? Okay, I'll just say find. It will tell that yes, there is one figure count by the name label over here. Okay, there is one label by the name out. Now if I say out 2, it will say find. It will figure out 2. Now if I say out star, it will figure out both. See that? It will say out and out 2. Now I say next, it will go to out. Okay. So thereby, this is how you search for labels. Okay. Now we saw how to search for geometries. We saw how to search for instances. We saw how to search for labels. Same criteria, similar scenario. We will go with searching of pins. Okay, I'll add a criteria here. Now I will give a term name. I need to select say VDD pin. Okay, I'll say find. So here it will figure out. I have added 2 VDD pins in my design. Okay, if you observe here, right, one at the top, over here, VDD. Okay, I haven't aborted them, but I just added because I need to give more explanations here. So if you see here, 2. Now I say next, it will highlight over here. Next, it will highlight over here. Okay, this is how you select multiple pins. If at all there are n number of pins in the design, by mistake you ended up adding it, or say for instance some pin over here which is actually a VDD pin, but for some reason you ended up placing that pin on some other net. Okay, and it is very hard for you to figure out where is this pin. Generally you get bulk connection related errors whenever there are pins which are swapping. Say for example, there is a VDD pin and by mistake you ended up adding a VSS label or a pin on top of it, you will end up getting stamping conflict errors. Or say by mistake, if at all there is a pin on top of it, you ended up adding a particular label which is other than your VDD or your VSS. Then again, you will get error message saying that multiple labels stamping on the same net, so default name is picked up, blah blah blah, and all of that. So this way, selecting the pins and labels, searching for a particular name will help you debug a lot of LVS errors over here. Okay, so that's why it comes very, very handy in searching instances, deleting them, replacing them, debugging and fixing all your LVS errors. So likewise, in the end, let's see if at all I have to look for vias. Okay, by mistake, you might have ended up adding vias, or say, for example, the PDK might have changed and the via enclosure might have been updated. Something of that sort could have happened. Okay, so I'll add a criteria. In here, I will say what's the via definition. I'll just leave it default. I'll say I want to select. Now, if you observe, my design has got only poly and metal 1 vias. Rest all is just a direct M1 connection. So the expected poly what I will be having is PC, contact, and M1. So I'll just search this. Let me see if it picks up. Okay. Now you see here, it has definitely picked up. There are 6 poly to metal 1 gate connections here. Shift F, right? So now that it has searched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I will select all of them here. Okay. And when I select, I'll be able to move them together. So if you observe here, I'm able to select and move only the selected contacts, poly and metal. So likewise, you can select depending on the larger size of your design, depending on the complexity of your design. If at all it's becoming difficult for you to manually go and select each and every via and delete it, obviously I wouldn't advise you to do that. You can use these features like selecting and deselecting or searching for a specific type of via over there, and then you can select whichever via it is, connecting from metal 2 to metal 3, 4 to 5, whatever. Search for it, select it, and move it aside. Okay, this is how these features of searching will help you debug and fix your layout related issues. So you can do this at one level, at multiple levels, and all of it, matching cases, multiple options over here you can play around. But as far as doing the layout job, so whatever I've mentioned in this video will be more than enough for you to get going with your layout work. It will help you kind of ease up your work. It will facilitate you in searching the instances, pins, labels, vias, and all of that. It will make your life easy. Okay? So try to incorporate this while you're working. It'll definitely help you. Thank you.